Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Savage Land. And today, I have some special toys I've been waiting on for a year to come. Pretty much the Dark Knight Returns Batman from MAFEX with Robin, who is Carrie Kelly. I don't know if this is the first girl Robin, but it's the first girl Robin I've ever seen, or iteration of Robin at all as a female. But I've been waiting on these toys for a year. I had them on Big Bad Toy Store as soon as they came up from pre-order, really a year ago. And now they finally came, man. And I had to get these guys on camera. I had to get some photo shoots with them. If you're not familiar with the Dark Knight comic book, it's written and illustrated by Frank Miller. Before we even get into the figures, we wouldn't even have these figures here in front of us if it wasn't for Frank Miller. Frank Miller, to me, is one of my favorites. I didn't even know about Frank Miller till later on in life. I knew about Todd McFarlane. I knew about Jim Lee. Sometimes I get on this camera, I can't remember names. Whoever created Cable, Deadpool, my man who worked for Marvel, who was a big part of those guys being created. I knew about all those guys, but Frank Miller came to later. I didn't know about Frank Miller until I seen the movie Sin City and 300. And so I went and pulled up some of his old comic books. I didn't know he did the first Wolverine, which I own a set. Wolverine Volume One is 4 issues. It kind of ties into with the regular X-Men comic book series. Wolverine goes to Japan, and it's just a big. I got the story. I know how it goes, but the X-Men eventually come out there. But Frank Miller did it, and with Frank Miller, you're not going to get really a lot of dialogue in his comics. What's going to be the dialogue is mostly action, and he makes these bright, beautiful. I don't even know necessarily bright. Just something the way those colors look in that Wolverine comic book is just amazing. And then he has this Noir way of drawing, so everybody's kind of like blocky and square. It's dope. But he did Dark Knight Returns. He's also did Sin City and 300 graphic novels. And Dark Knight Returns, I actually own that comic book set also. Again, another amazing comic book with amazing drawings and a great storyline. And it basically follows Bruce Wayne when he's 55 years old. He's retired from Batman, probably about 10 years. And Gotham is overran with crime. Actually, the Dark Knight movies with Christian Bale, that was kind of like a form of that, especially part 3 when he's supposed to be retired, he comes back or whatnot, he has to work himself back out. They've never made that in real life form that story for how the comic book goes. It's always like some type of form or iteration of Dark Knight. But Batman comes back at 55 years old. He gets his ass beat when he steps back into the arena. But he gets smart. He goes up against Superman, which is a pawn of the government. The Gotham City Police is against Batman. He has a lot going against him, but he still somehow prevails. In the end, he dies, quote unquote dies, and he goes underground. And him and Carrie, the new Robin, they make up a whole army of guys who were the mutants. You need to read the story because there's a gang called the Mutants. Batman gets his ass whooped by their leader. Then he comes back, he beats the leader down. So the gang wants to follow Batman. So it's almost kind of like they overstand things. When they follow Batman, they're trying to take crime in their own hand. They're really just making a big mess. So at the end, when he fakes his own death, he goes underground and he teaches those guys how to handle crime like how he handled crime. And Carrie's there right along with him. But it's a dope story. That's why I gotta have his head off in this. Well, his mask off, his cowl off in this, because his face sculpt on the unmasked version, it's something kind of eerie, man. It's a good looking face sculpt, but it's an eerie looking face. It's almost kind of scary looking. But they did a great job. These are some beautiful figures. Like I said, I've been waiting a year on these, and it was well worth the wait, man. If you've had a MAFEX Dark Knight Batman before, you know you're getting the same beefy kind of Batman here. My camera can focus. And look at that face sculpt. That shit looks phenomenal, man. But this has hands down has become my favorite Batman. It really has. The other MAFEX one was because I've never seen a Batman that beefy, looking that good, and can move that good. And then the cloth cape with the wire in it. I mean, you can do anything you want. I mean, you can. I know you got to do a little bit more, but look at this. I mean, you can already start getting him into things because the cape is going to speak for itself. It's going to show expression for itself, just like when I had the White Knight bike by McFarlane, and I had the other MAFEX on there with the cape blowing in the wind. It already started to make expressions for itself. But this just it looks good. The paint looks good. The symbol looks good. The blue and gray pop so well. And this is the first time I've ever kind of really seen this soft goods fabric actually matching plastic, because as you can see around his neck here, that's blue, that's plastic. This is fabric, and it blends in well. A lot of times you can't match up materials like that. So they took their time with this. I know they did, because it took a year. I've been waiting on it for a year to make this figure, man. He comes with 2 other head sculpts. I'm gonna try to hold this tray up, because this is when you start dealing with action figures in this sense, you don't want to ever really take anything out. It is a job to do anything. But he has 3 other sets of hands. Carrie has 3 sets of hands here. My batarangs are falling out. It'll be all right. He has 2 head sculpts. He has a grinning. He has kind of like a snarling head sculpt, and then he has a solemn look. And Carrie has her hair blowing in the wind head sculpt. Right now, she has on her regular head, but in the front of the comic, if you know, you know. And this what this is, basically here. Let me hold Carrie up right quick. But Carrie looks good too. This is the best looking Robin I got. I don't know what it is about DC, even McFarlane, man. Just the Robins, man. It's just horrible. And this one right here, it's not horrible, but it has its share of BS with it too. Like my arm has been coming apart at the elbow joint, so be careful with that. She's tiny. She's like a toothpick. I got some figures here that I'm gonna put up beside her, and you can see pretty much how big she is. But the package costs $145 altogether. I give Batman, okay, I paid $100 for him, but I paid $45 for her, and she shouldn't be falling apart, MAFEX, at all. And I understand it's a very delicate, intricate figure, but this elbow right here, I'll take it off now. Look, it just comes off. Like, that's not supposed to happen. So anybody who gets this figure, beware of that. And just be delicate with it. But she's not a bad figure. There's just some QC issues. And I never had a problem with MAFEX. Maybe this is the QC issue everybody talking about they had nightmares about years ago. But she's still not bad. This arm right here wants to come out of the socket, which, you know, with MAFEX, you don't have to be gentle with them, but you know, you get too rough with them, their legs start coming off. Things not breaking, they just pop out. But I guess that goes into the flexibility of their figures, because every figure you get with them, they have the best articulation, hands down, I think, out of any toy brand, whether it's domestic or import, whether it's $20 or $100. I think they move the best. You're definitely not gonna have no problems with them, but you definitely have to be delicate. And with her, she was cool. You can pose her up, and she's a very acrobatic person. Any Robin is acrobatic. They always gonna have that gymnastic kind of like skill set, and she can move really good, and that causes for a gymnastic type skill set. Like the Robin I brought from Mattel, they definitely can't bend her legs like that. That is about to fly through the air, do some cool stuff type bend legs. That Robin from Mattel, I hate I even ever brought it. It's a horrible figure. It can't even stand up. Now with her, I did have to use some sticky tack myself just to get her to stand up, because I think what makes it so hard to stand Robins are the elf shoes. But I had to make a video on these figures because they're just A+ figures. Even with the minor QC things with the Robins, I mean, this Batman, if you get this Batman, this is really not even for a child. If you give this to a child, make sure you tell him to take care of it, because these are just two of the dopest figures I've ever brought really in my life. As the years go by, action figures seem to get better and better and better, and I mean that. If I had these as a kid, I don't know what I would do. Probably having just as much fun as I had shooting the videos. Shooting the photography on these two guys. But right quick, I'm gonna show you how big this Robin is. This is a G.I. Joe. Classic G.I. Joe. Ooh, for all my O-ring guys. Ooh, mommy, look, O-rings, O-rings. There you go. I'm playing with an O-ring. But she's just a little bit bigger than he is. Okay, so that kind of shows you how small that Robin is. And for my retro guys, hey, go Team Retro. She's still just a little bit bigger than him. But you see the scale that they're pretty much working with. This is not a huge character here. She's supposed to be 13 years old. I think they made her just a little bit too small, but I'm cool with it. I understand. Especially with a girl. A girl that's 13 can look like she's 8 or 9 or 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes girls just move that small. But to make a long story short, these are two A+ figures. If you got the money to buy them, buy them. If you got the money to buy two and put them in the cut. Because I don't know if they'll be ever made again like this. This is just mwah. This is perfect right here. I had to squeeze this video in. I had to get some photography in with them. This is the MAFEX Batman and Robin from the Dark Knight Returns blue version here. Pick them up, man. Check them out. And I'm gonna end this video like I end all videos. When you step out the door, make sure you're being a person of integrity. Until the next time, God bless and Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.